Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the game between L2F and Airborne. At the moment, the score shows 3-2, but let me just confirm that. L2F seem to have pulled and the disc has gone out of bounds. Harsh is walking up to get the disc, and I think he's called a pick. He's called a brick. A brick is something that can be called to penalize the team that pulls the disc out of bounds, where you gain yardage from the end zone. But I think it's landed in and rolled out. I'm sorry, I might have just missed that play. Harsh throws a nice forehand inside out to Selvi, who throws it to Chennai, who's looking for Vimal in the end zone, and Vimal's going to run that down. Wonderful offense by Airborne. Apologies for the incorrect score. At the moment, the score reflects 5 to Airborne and 2 to L2F. That means Airborne are at least 2 breaks up. Aniket has disc now on the near side end zone, looking, not end zone, near sideline, looking to center it, who passes it to Sisa. Sisa's looking to Aniket again for a dump, but I think there's some contact on the field that has happened, and a foul is being called. Rishi gets the disc at the center, passes it back to Sisa, passes it to Aniket, who's looking to move the disc around. Rishi throws it above everybody all the way to, looks like Pras. Throws it back to Rishi. Trying to break the cup from within, but doesn't seem to be happening at the moment. Pras has the disc, centers it to Rishi, who passes it to Aniket. Rishi asks but doesn't get. Okay, now Rishi does. Throws it through the cup to Sisa. Passes it to Pras, who finds Swati in the end zone, who makes a good grab. We weren't sure if that was up or down, but yeah, she had clasped it and then turned. So again, apologies for the score. There seems to be quite some fluctuation. We aren't sure what the actual score actually is. So if you'd give us a couple of minutes, we'll sort that out right away. It seems to be 5-3 to L2F at the 5-3 to Airborne at the moment, and L2F will be pulling for the next point. There seems to be quite some fluctuation. We aren't sure what the actual score actually is. So if you give us a couple of minutes, we'll sort that out right away. It seems to be 5-3 to L2F at the moment. Just अब ऑफ कीजिए for a minute. Yeah, and Pras has got his hand up for the pull, and he sends a beautiful OI. That's an outside in throw, which lands just at the edge of the end zone and rolls a little. Shruti picks it up and centers it to, I can't make out which player that is, who's looking deep and sends a huck. And I don't know who came out. Harsha seems to have come down with the disc. Passes it to Roshni for the score. And no, it's called outside, so Roshni still has the disc, just at the edge of the end zone. Centers it to Rocket, and who passes it to Harsha for a simple and easy score. This is the final quarterfinal. This is the fourth quarterfinal that's taking place at the NCS National Championship Series Nationals, being held in Anantapur. The other three games of the quarterfinals have taken place. Sorry, the first two games of the quarterfinals are done, and the third game is going on at the moment in the other field. That is Air Traffic Control, a team from Bangalore, India, which is playing Awadh Khiladis, a team from Lucknow, UP. You can stream in and watch that game if you wish. At the moment, the score is 6-3 to Airborne. We'll be looking to pull now. So at every odd sum of points, the gender ratio changes, which basically means that you can have 4 women and 3 men for 2 points, and then 4 men and 3 women for another 2 points. This promotes a lot of equality within the sport as well. Airborne has sent out the pull, and not sure who has the disc. Sorry, I'm a little too far to actually make out who has the disc. I think L2 have got the D over there, and this is a Airborne have got the D over there, and this is and they've scored, which means they've got another break. The score will be 7-3 to Airborne. Yes, that's a break.
Score the goal, and India have won! Kyle Somewhat!
Yeah, as a boy, I always knew I one day had the courage to be king. Yeah, time flew when I grew up. Now I'm ready for the promise that it brings. You only wanted me to screw up, but it's something that you're never gonna see. And everything that you hope for, yeah, it was only in a dream. Yeah, now I go on a roll, and I know that I'm never breaking down.
The pull has gone up, and I think Pras has centered it to Swati. Pras tries to make an upline cut, but there are players in the lane. She's looking for a reset. She throws one high above the stack, but nobody seems to come down with it. Vimal is walking to the disc, and he's taken a timeout.
of the flow.
Score the goal, and India have won! Wales have won! Now.
Yeah, as a boy, always knew I one day had the courage to be king. Yeah, time flew when I grew up. Now I'm ready for the promise that it brings. You only wanted me to screw up, but it's something that you're never gonna see. And everything that you hope for, yeah, it was only in a dream. Yeah, now I go on a roll, and I know that I'm never breaking down. I control all the flow on my soul, with a sword that is sewn in the ground. She always said it would be someday, seeing castles in the clouds. One way or another, when I step in the room, everybody better bow. So be careful how you talk to me,
That's the day we...
cause there's only one king, and there's only one crown, and there ain't enough room for us both on the throne. It's about to go down, so you better start running.
This was drunk, but it was picked
So
up.
you better start running. So you better start running, because I'm coming right now, cause I'm coming right now. And there's only one crown, and there's only one king, and it's looking like me.
During that
So
match
you
point,
better
big
start
disco.
running.
It's going to be a game to 10. Can this be
You better
completed?
start running.
Oh.
Yeah. So you better start running. Come on, come on. So you better start. So you better start. Cause there's only one king, and there's only one crown, and there ain't enough room for us both on the throne. It's about
Welcome back. Airborne have taken half at 8-3 and they've pulled. I'm sorry, I missed the play-by-play, but L2F got the disc in short. There was a huck that took place and there's a turn. Airborne has the disc again. There's a huck going up from Selvi and Viman's going. He's tried the greatest, but I don't think that was successful. The disc has ended up in the other field and they're trying to get it back. Wow, at the other field there's a person who's jumped out and landed somewhere on our field. I really hope he's okay. There seems to be an injury that is taking place within the L2F team, and no, that's somebody else on the sideline. Rishi with the disc, looking to pass it to Aniket, passes it to, I'm sorry, I don't know her name, who passes it to Swati. Swati is looking for an upline card from Aniket, and Aniket releases one high backhand to Jimmy, also known Karan, also known as Jimmy, and there's another upline that is unsuccessful, but there seems to be a call of sorts. Is it a contact call? We aren't sure what's happening at the moment. There are no hand signals being used, but yeah, but it appears to be a contact call from here. Usually players are given a time limit of 30 seconds to resolve the call quickly and get on with the play. Ultimate, as most people know, is a self-refereed sport and does not use external referees to intervene and decide the outcome of the game. Players can either decide to accept the call that's being made or contest it. When a call is contested, the disc goes back to the previous uncontested call. So Aniket makes the upline again, and Jimmy is looking for the shot but doesn't get it. Aniket releases one low to Rishi, passes it through to Swati back to Rishi, who's looking for someone in the end zone, but now looking for the dump, and decides to call a timeout. He probably felt that they might need a little more organization, or felt Yeah, sorry about that. It's been a really hot day, and we would like to request everybody in the sun to keep themselves hydrated, and all those watching as well, please keep yourselves hydrated. With that, I would like to give a shout out to Enerzol, which is our hydration partner for the tournament, and our other beloved sponsors, Agile, which is our award partner, SportVot, which is the broadcasting team. We thank you for everything that they're doing for us, and Anandpur Sports Academy, without which we wouldn't be playing at this venue. It's a lovely place with 4 fields that are all on natural grass, and it's a really beautiful place to play Ultimate in. It's the second day of the National Championship Series, and we're looking forward to a tight finish towards the business end of the tournament. At the other field, the score between ATC, Air Traffic Control, and Awadh Khiladis seems to be 5-6, where Awadh Khiladis is 6 and ATC are 5. This is just a short update for you. It seems that L2F and Airborne are back from their timeout, and disc will be checked into play really quickly. So when a timeout is taken, the disc will be checked back in at the stall count when the timeout is called. Stall seems to be coming from 3, 4, 5. I cannot make out that number. Passes a high release to Jimmy, Aniket. But there's a violation called and the disc will have to come back. A violation can be called when players feel that another player is out of position or something similar to that extent, because you cannot progress play when a call has taken place in field. Rishi centers the disc back to Aniket, who's looking for a reset but doesn't get it. Now Vimal's making the in-cut. I think Vimal gets the D and he's centering the disc back to Chennai. I seriously can't make out who passes it to Kiran. I really hope that's Kiran. Plays it back to Vimal. Good structured ultimate being played by, oh, that's Harsha, or Harsh rather. Good textbook ultimate being played by Airborne at the moment. Good swinging of the disc, clean spacing out. Vimal's looking for two players up front and otherwise looking at the dump. Selvi looks a man off and looks for another pass. Vimal is always there for the inside. He sets it back, decides to take it slow. Disc back to Harsh, to Kiran, to Harsh. Seems to be an energy gainer with Selvi. There's a pick called as Airborne have scored, but the disc will go back because the pick seems to have happened. Definitely interrupted play. I don't know when the pick is being called. Is it on Selvi or the other player? But a pick basically is called when there is a defender trying to catch up to someone else and they're being obstructed by someone else in their path and they cannot catch up to the player they wish to. Vimal moves the disc around pretty easily once again and is calling for something, makes a clean pass to Harsh, who floats it neat around, but this seems to be dropped in the end zone. Unfortunate drop there. At the moment, Aniket is walking up to pick up the disc with Kiran as the mark, and Aniket centers the disc to another handler who is looking for Parul, who looks to Sisa. Sisa then looking for, plays it to Aniket, Aniket to Jimmy. There seems to be a D, but I think it's a call on field where Karan feels that there has been contact made during the throw, because of which his throwing motion was affected. And the disc is reset back to Aniket, who's looking for options up ahead in the field. Airborne are playing a tight person defense. And they've got the D and scored. And I think they've broken at this point. This may have been L2F's O point after half. But Airborne seems to have broken them yet again. And that's Airborne at the field, on the field with their iconic cheer, couple of claps and then their hands spread wide apart. Rocket is being called on the line along with Vimal, Roshni, and a few others. I'm not really sure. There's Chennai, there's Bala, and I do not know the rest. Forgive me because I do not know everybody's name on this line. It's pretty good. Airborne have sent out a pull all the way deep into the end zone, which is being got by Pras, who sent her to Ananya. Got the disc back, sent out a huck now. Akshat is under the disc along with an Airborne player, and Akshat's come down with the disc. And he celebrates with a lot of josh. Right now the score is 9-4 to Airborne. L2F have just scored, so they'll be pulling. The pull takes place in a format that allows women and men players to pull based on the gender ratio. If 4 women are on the line, the women will be pulling, and if 4 men are on the line, the men will be pulling. The pull goes up from Ananya, and it's a good fast pull almost into the end zone. It's caught by a flywheel player who centers it to, this is I think Rahul Chennai, who's looking for a cut. Finds Harsha, who winds up for a huck, and the disc is caught by another Airborne player. I'm really sorry, I can't make out who the players are from here, but that seems to be a simple 2-pass score for Airborne. Clinical, clean offense, and right now the score is 10-4 to Airborne.
अरे नको नको बघती बॅकसीट येते त्याच्यापेक्षा मी पॅन टाकून मिनिटासाठी लगेच येते अरे तू करणार कशाला आहे बॅकस्क्रीन देत आहे हां थांब थांब
Back on the field, Airborne with the pull. It's being run down by a couple of people who have got the D. Vimal takes the disc and centers it to Harsha, who passes it then to Shruti. who looks for a good in-cut from Selvi, who hucks it to the end zone, and Bala seems to toe the line, but is being called out by someone else. So the rule at this point is, let's say Bala has towed the line and another player makes the call, he can accept the call, contest the call, or ask for perspective. Perspective is about asking a third person about what they think about whether he was in or not at this point. The perspective ruling is something that allows an outsider to help you view the situation, because two people can be misled by what they see. But I think the fact that this sport allows someone to ask for perspective is definitely an empowering thing. The ruling is that the score is in, and Bala was in when he caught the disc. So Airborne have now scored 11 points. They got the break versus L2F, and at this point I think the gender ratio will be switching. There are 4 men online from what I can see, with Cheta, Kiran, Rocket, and someone else, and 3 women. I think Rocket is winding up for the pull, and Harsha. In the women, there is Roshini, and there are 2 others whose names I do not know at the moment. Rocket holds his hand up for a pull, and the other team signals by holding their hand up as well, and he launches it into orbit. It lands just outside the playing field, which means that L2F will be calling a brick. Now a brick is an advantageous thing because it allows you to come 18 yards in the playing field from the end zone line. Can't make out who's walking. Oh, Pras picked up the disc and he's walking to the end zone. Sorry, to the brick mark, where he's being marked by Cheta, who seems to be forcing forehand. Now the force strategy is something that's used by, no, it's not a force forehand, but the force strategy is something that's used by players to throw it to a certain region only. So effectively, if it works correctly, you're cutting the playing field by half. At this point, the camera seems to have, okay, yeah. This was with Swati. I think there was a reset and then an upline to Aniket. Centers it back to Pras. Takes the inside shot to Rishi. Rishi back to Pras. Pras sends it to the end zone where it's caught by Parul for the score. Yes, it's caught by Parul. And now the score is 5 L2F and Airborne 11. Games are usually played to 15 points or for a time period of 100 minutes from the quarterfinals onward. This game is a 100-minute game and it started at 4:30. So which means we're, as the timer shows, 56 minutes in. A half is usually taken at 8 points or at 55 minutes, whichever is earlier. There's a certain nuance with the 55-minute rule as well. You have to finish a point at 55 and then play to the higher score. So it allows the team that's lagging behind in a score to catch up before half is called. Since L2F scored, they'll be pulling now. And again, it's 4 men on the line, with the L2F line having Akshat, Karan, Pras and Parmesh, and 3 women. I'm sorry, I couldn't make out who they were. I think Bhavya was on the line. Ananya's on the line, and there's a huck that goes up from Airborne, which the player is unable to come down with. Pras winds up for a big huck, but he can't throw beyond the Airborne player, who comes down with the D. Shruti picks up the disc and passes it to Selvi, who passes it to Chennai. Chennai is being marked by Parmesh at the moment, who the disc is centered to Shruti to Rocket to another player, down to Harsha, and he sends a beautiful put that floats in the end zone, which Rocket is able to come down with. I think Rocket would have caught that beautiful put with his eyes closed, because the disc floated for that long. The score at the moment is 12 to Airborne and 5 to L2F. At the other field, there's another game that's taking place between Awadh Khiladis and Air Traffic Control. The score there seems to be 9 to Awadh Khiladis and 6 to Air Traffic Control. To all the viewers who don't know what Ultimate Frisbee is a sport that's played with a disc and in a football field with half its width. The aim of the game is to score by catching the disc in the opponent's end zone. The end zone is a rectangular box that you can see at either end with dimensions 37 meters by 18 meters, and the field lengths are usually 100 meters. So teams adopt multiple strategies to try and catch the disc in this holy end zone of sorts. At the moment, L2F were on O again, but they seem to have turned. The disc was with Shruti, who centered to... I'm sorry, I couldn't make out who that was. Now Vimal had the disc, centers it back to Shruti. That's Selvi, yeah. Selvi to Vimal, no. Selvi looks off Vimal, passes it back to Shruti. There's a pick call. I think, as I mentioned earlier, picks happen when there is an obstruction of sorts in the field where one player cannot get to where they want because of somebody else obstructing them. It's best practice to call a pick when it really affects play. Yeah. Back to the game on field, Vimal is trying to break the mark and look for an in-cut, who then just gives the disc back to Shruti. There seems to be another call on field where there is a pick or contact. I'm not sure about what the call is. I think it's a pick, but since there's no throw, the disc stays where it is. There's a violation that's being called at the moment. There's another violation that's being called at the moment. I'm not really sure what these calls are for. Shruti and Vimal are the two handlers that are taking place, that are taking the space, and the cutters are aligning themselves in the end zone. Vimal seems to be directing the team to Yeah, sorry for the break in commentary, but disc was checked back into play and Airborne have scored. I think Bala has caught the disc in the end zone. And now the score is 13 to Airborne and 5 to L2F. Since the game is played to 15, the first team to reach 15 points wins. Or if time gets over and teams haven't reached 15 yet, then teams will always play to the +1 point of the team that's at a higher score. So let's say there are two teams at one at 9 and one at 13, and the team will then play to +1 after 13 scores. So they'll end up playing to 15, but that's generally how the idea takes place. At the other field, Awadh and Air Traffic Control are having a great game. There's a huck that's gone up and caught in the end zone. You can tune in to watch that game as well, because that's the third quarterfinal that's taking place. The score is 10 to Awadh and 7 to Air Traffic Control. Airborne are lining up at their end zone with the disc in hand, asking for a pull at the moment, and they will be pulling. Shruti seems to have the disc in her hand. And she'll be sending the disc to the other side. Yeah, Shruti winds up for the pull and sends a really good pull that almost reaches the end zone. Disc is centered by Aniket to Pras, who passes it to Bhavya, passes it to Ananya, back to Bhavya, back to Ananya. They're both looking for in cuts or for Pras now has the disc and is looking for, Ananya's there for the disc. Disc comes in to Apurva, back to Ananya. And it's thrown to the end zone, but Vimal comes down with the disc. There's nobody on Vimal at the moment. No, Rishi is running up to him. He passes the disc to, I'm not sure who, but I'm sorry about that, but there was a huck that went up from Airborne and the disc is being turned over. L2F have a chance to score again. Pras is slowly walking to pick up the disc and come to the front line of the end zone, wherein which he's given a cut by Ananya, who passes it to Bhav, who passes it to Rishi, back to Ananya, back to Bhavya, back to Pras. Who passes it to Aniket to ASR, but I don't think that pass was complete. Vimal comes with a good interception here, and he's playing a 1-2. Vimal passes it to Roshni at the far end of the sideline, passes it to Selvi to other player, who throws the disc up to Vimal. Vimal seems to be an amazing bailout option just because of the height and the vertical that he possesses with himself. He can pluck out discs from the second floor of a building. Another in cut by the Airborne player. Back to Shruti. Back to Selvi. Shruti's asking for the upline pass. She's got it just outside the line of the end zone. Centers it back. And the disc is swung around to Vimal, who collects it at the near end of the end zone for a score. The score is now 14-5, where Airborne are 14 and L2F are 5. Hello, welcome back to the game. Airborne are trying to pull for another point. And Rocket has got his hand up asking if he can pull. He launches the disc into orbit with an IO pull. Will the disc stay in bounds? No. It seems to have... Yeah, it has landed out of bounds, and I think L2F is called a brick. At the moment, Prasanna has picked up the disc and is walking up to the brick mark. Airborne had the disc and they have turned it away. Pras picks up the disc and he passes to Varun, who passes it back to Pras. Looking for cuts, plays it, centers it to Varun. And back to Akshat. Akshat to Akshat throws the disc away. Sorry, the Akshat's pass has been intercepted by an Airborne player who passes it to Chetta, who throws it to Harsha for the score. I think with that, Airborne have scored 15 and have won the game versus L2F. Airborne will be progressing to the semi-finals of the National Championship Series. This was seeds 5 versus seed 4, where Airborne is seed 4, and at this point, I think Airborne will end up playing. This was seed 3 versus seed 6. I am really sorry for the misinformation, where L2F was seeded 6 and Airborne was seeded 3. So now they will end up playing the second seeded team, which is Fly Wild, for a place in the finals. Please tune in tomorrow to watch those games. On the other end of the field, there is a game going on between air traffic control and Awadh Khiladis, which is not done yet. The game is at 12:10, where Awadh are at 12 and air traffic control are at 10. Please tune in to see what happens in that game and who our fourth and final semi-finalist will be. Thank you. This is Vignesh signing off from Tix. I hope you had a great day, and I hope you'll be here to watch some more Ultimate on screen tomorrow. Thank you and bye-bye. Take care. Thanks, boss.